Hello. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about meditation. I'm going to share a little bit about my journey from something that I read in my journal yesterday that prompted me to share this video. And then I'll lead us through a really short but potent meditation practice, and that will be our video for today. So last night, I was reading in my journal. So the journal that I use is day one. I've used it for like maybe 10 or 11 years. And there's a feature on day one where you can go and see the day previous, or the day in years previous. And so I was going and I was reading, and I saw that 6 years ago is when I started a meditation teacher training. And so to put you kind of in the frame, I was not outside in some warm place. I was living in San Francisco. I was working at Google. I was a interaction designer, like UX designer. My title was interaction designer on Google Maps, and working on features that touched both maps and search. And so very deep in that world. And just before I joined Google, I did a yoga teacher training. And so when I started at Google, in addition to leading design for some incredible folks, I was also teaching yoga classes. And so something that was also really starting to get increasingly present about my experience was the role of meditation. And I think I'll leave like the depth of that story for another time. But at that point, I was already meditating for a few years daily at that point. And as someone who I've really struggled with my mental health on and off for many, many years, and anxiety and depression specifically, and meditation was abundantly worldly helpful in me managing my mental health, or at least that was my gateway into this. And so much so that I felt called to teach. And so there are a few things that I want to share that I remember learning in this teacher training that I sometimes weave into when I coach with certain clients, in some spaces that I hold. And then more so other forms of meditation that I've learned since. But this meditation teacher training, the way that I describe it, so it was with a teacher. His name is Charlie Knowles. I'm not exactly sure where he is in the world right now, but he's an Australian guy, has a Vedic meditation background, primarily. And then for my latest knowledge, he's been based in Bali. And the way that I describe this meditation teacher training to folks is it was very much a general studies in meditation. And so what we learned was different forms of meditation across the way that I described it to people is that it allowed me to be kind of like a meditation doctor, where you wouldn't give like Tylenol to someone if it's not the right medicine, for example. So the 4 kinds of meditation that we learned is one is mindfulness. So this is your very like simple present moment awareness kinds of meditation. And what mindfulness does, many people are probably already aware of this since there's been the most like scientific back research with mindfulness, is how can I be aware of my experience? So a short exercise right now is there's so many things that you can be aware of, and we can dive more into that in a later video. If you're interested in that, leave a comment below. So what am I aware of? So in the video that I shared yesterday, we were talking about listening, and so we were talking about really the multifaceted, multidimensionality aspects of what you can be listening for. As you're listening to someone, you can be aware of your own lived experience. You can be aware of someone else. And that really is like the crux of what mindfulness starts to offer. How can I start to be aware of my lived experience? And the way that one can access that is through the different senses. So, smell, see, taste, hearing, touch. And really, those are your doors into greater mindfulness. So that's number one. That's the first style of meditation that I was taught to teach and that folks can practice. Second is a compassion or warmth, or in certain Buddhist traditions called Metta. And so there are a variety of different practices that go with Metta or loving kindness kinds of meditations. But one that is like most often known is a form of Metta where you send well wishes to people, then eventually to all beings. And so I found this to be so immensely helpful as someone who, for so much of my life, I really oriented solely through my mind. And this really, the practice of Metta really allowed me to drop into my heart. And it's not losing the power of the mind, but rather how could I expand the aperture of my awareness to cultivate a wise heart, in addition to a wickedly intelligent mind. Okay, so that's number two. So 1, we have mindfulness. 2, we have compassion-based practices. 3 is in what I studied. I don't remember the exact name, but the essence of it was breathwork. And so there was a variety of different meditations that we practiced that used the breath. And really what using the breath in relation to like a meditative context does, there's 2 things. 1, it can help regulate the nervous system and so provide more balance. Or 2, it can also give more energy. And so, for example, say you're so tired, you're utterly exhausted, and it's maybe you didn't have a good night's sleep, but it's around like the 3 p.m. slump. And instead of going for that extra coffee, and say maybe you already worked out for the day, you could do different breathing practices, and it can be just as powerful as caffeine. So there's a variety of different, in a yogic philosophy, it's called pranayama, but there's a variety of different breathing practices that can either help regulate the nervous system, so if you're feeling stressed, help you come back to balance your energetic body, and or provide you more energy. So if you'd be interested in more of the specifics on examples of those and how you can correlate to anything that you have questions of, feel free to leave comments below. Okay, so we've gone through 3 different styles of meditation so far. Do you remember what they are? So number 1, we have mindfulness, so present moment awareness types of meditation. 2, we have compassion-based meditation, so how can we provide warmth to our experience, really develop that wise heart. 3 is with the breath, and this is either to provide us more energy or to provide balance. Okay, and so 4, do you know what number 4 is? So 4 is what in the teacher training, what they called transcendent based meditation. So if you're familiar with transcendental meditation, TM, There's a number of folks that made TM quite popular. One is the Beatles. Also, Tim Ferriss has spoken a lot about his journey with TM. And there's a number of other folks that have had larger followings that have shared about their experience with TM. I did TM, the training, and that was my primary practice before I did this meditation teacher training years ago. So maybe it was 9 years ago. And so what this does is the metaphor that they use in TM is, so what mindfulness does is, imagine you are swimming in an ocean. You're just getting wrecked by the wave. And so what mindfulness does is, you are aware that you're constantly getting pummeled by those waves. But you're aware of it. You're aware of how you're feeling. You're aware of your lived experience. You're aware of it. You're not lost in thought or sensation or reactivity. So what transcendental meditation or transcendence-based meditations do is it allows you to root down. We're going to stick with this ocean and waves metaphor. So instead of simply being aware of the waves, it allows you to drop down into the silence of the mind, beneath the thoughts. And from that place, you can then connect to, we'll say for this case, greater peace, more oneness. So these are the four buckets, that there were then three meditation types in each of these buckets. There are many other styles of meditation too, I want to highlight, that weren't included. One is focused-based meditation, so concentration. So this is extremely helpful for if, like many of us, we're caught in maybe feeling a little ADD, or we actually do have ADD or ADHD, and the quality of our mind feels utterly rampant. Having concentration meditation can be immensely helpful to help learn how to train and calm the mind. And the last one that I'll say that was not included in the meditation teacher training that I did, but that I've practiced now extensively, is non-dual meditation. And so there's many teachers that you can find that teach non-dual meditation, but the essence of non-duality is there's no inside or outside to your experience, and you can tap into the oneness of experience. And so you might think that it could be similar to a form of transcendence. It has certain qualities that are similar. Anyways, I digress. So there were 4 styles of meditation that I learned in this teacher training that could be of benefit to you. So 1 is mindfulness, 2 is compassion, 3 is breathing, breathwork, and 4 is transcendence. And then I sprinkled in a couple more, and that was concentration and non-duality. There are many other styles of meditation, so I'm not discounting those. But these are the 6 buckets that I have been very, very immersed in. Yeah, I'm going to stop because there are more. So I'm going to leave us with a short practice, because I did mention that at the beginning. I think this will just be 5 minutes. We'll see how long it goes. Yeah, and that will be that for today. So find a comfortable seat. And if you are sitting on a chair, scoot your tush forward so your feet are fully planted and you have a tall spine. And if you feel comfortable, bring your eyes downcast or start to gently close your eyes. And allow the breath to more deeply exhale. Allow the breath to have longer exhales. And so start to bring your awareness to your body in space. Notice if there are any tension in your body. Continuing to bring your awareness to your breath and your body in this space. And bring your awareness to the quality of your mind. So noticing, is your mind starting to drift? Are you getting lost in thought? Lost in sensation? If so, bring your awareness back to your breath. Allowing each exhale to be a little bit longer than the inhale. Again, if your mind gets lost in thought, bring your awareness back. And noticing your breath, the inhale, the exhale, the rise and fall of the belly and the chest. And slowly in your own time, you can open your eyes. So my finger was was over the camera a little bit, but here we are. I didn't have a tripod. So this was a very simple form of mindfulness. And what we did there was we used the breath as an anchor. The two other styles of meditation that I want to leave you with, and let me know if you want to hear more about these, is because people talk about this a lot, and I've spoken about this a lot with like high-profile leaders that I coach. One is visualization. So this is helpful for any kind of form of manifestation or allowing you to, like quantum leap, I feel like is being used a lot right now, but allowing you to fully visualize, to allow yourself to step into that reality. So, for example, Kobe Bryant used this form of meditation a lot. The other, this is also similar but a little different, but also has a visual quality to it, is using different art as a form of contemplative inquiry. So I will leave you with that, but would love to hear your thoughts on this video and if it was, what came up for you. and what you learned and what you'd like to hear more of. And if you do not already subscribe, go down and hit that subscribe button. And I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day wherever you are in the world.